I'm trying something new, a little introduction video about what I have in the newsletter. I'm back from the Wild West in Texas, land of oil and gas, but I was in Austin, which is the civilized part, but I went to FullyCharged, a conference about EV with all the famous YouTubers and everybody who talks about Tesla and EV were there. And I have some fantastic interviews for you for the next couple of weeks. First, I talked to Galileo from Hyperchanget TV, a fantastic analyst, 25 years old, lives in New York, doesn't have a car, and he basically makes the most brilliant videos which are very appreciated. And 7 months ago he predicted that the whole stock of Tesla would go through the roof, and of course it went from 200 to 900. It's worth now twice as much as Volkswagen, and basically asked him why did he make this channel, what does he talk about. It's a really interesting guy. He talks way faster than me, so take a look at a couple of his videos. That's really interesting. Then I also had a whole bunch of other people, and Paul was a very interesting guy. He was in the movie Who Killed the Electric Car. He sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Leafs in 2011, and he basically paid $32,000 to talk to Obama for 3 minutes to say what he should do about electric cars. It's a really very fascinating historical figure, and who's very active in the whole industry. There's now 1.4 million cars in electric cars in America, and these guys were at the front of it. Okay, secondly, I have a little video, a very detailed video about why the Tesla screens fail. I talked about it last week in my newsletter. And then I met Wiebo, and Wiebo, he was the first one in the Netherlands who basically got it, and he talks in depth about why it goes wrong. He's a Linux guy, Linux geek, and he was the first one. So only if you're interested in that subject. It's really long, very detailed, very interesting. So that's the only thing I want to do. Okay, then secondly, I have a very interesting interview about his name is Danny Dodang, and he's the director of the China Blockchain Application Center. And of course, in China, blockchain is huge. I mean, we're here in the blockchain depression in the West, but China is really going gangbusters. And he basically says about all kinds of interesting applications and why the Central Bank of China is going to a digital currency based on DLT. So, I mean, that is going to be the biggest project ever. And yeah, so we are in a depression, but they are just coming up. They had 50 people in Davos going there. So that's really interesting. And then I have one Dutch video this time, and that is Amos Kater, and he's from Currents. And he talks about our payment system in the Netherlands. It's called IDIN, which is used 60 million times per month, and so that's quite a bit. And it works smooth and great, and QR codes are being implemented, and it's really a most fantastic Dutch payment system on the internet, and it's now coming to shops. So that's Dutch, I'm sorry, but it's really interesting. We have a very good system. And he also talks about IDIN, and that is identifying yourselves. The bank have made an identification system. It's only, identification systems are normally done by governments or by banks. And yeah, the Dutch banks have used IDIN. It's really easy to identify yourself with it. And I made a demo with it, and he basically says it's now being used 20,000 times a day. So that is really starting to come, and it's accelerating growth. So, and we need a good digital identity. So those are the movies for today. I'm back in Holland, excited. It was very great to be in the States for a couple of days. Always inspiring. China, America, but we also love the Netherlands. Okay, here, enjoy.